So we're here on unceded Tsleil-Waututh territory just outside of Vancouver right now, and I'm with Ruben George, who's invited Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois to do a little bit of East meets West. So Ruben George, you've been really doing a lot of the Kinder Morgan pipeline opposition, and you've been doing a lot of Energy East stuff out in Quebec. So what do you think the importance was bringing in Gabriel out here? And
well, we stand in solidarity, and it's important to work together because there's so many different causes. You know, we went down to Houston, Texas a couple of days ago, and the Kinder Morgan pipeline, the Trans Mountain pipeline, only represents 2% of that overall company. So, you know, us as Tsleil-Waututh, we come at them at multiple different directions with multimedia, concerts, rallies, events, and legal cases, and we stand in solidarity with anyone who stands to stick up for Mother Earth. You know, the work that we're doing is important. You know, what I believe, because of the success that I see that you have in back east is, you know, and the success that we're having here and in Turtle Island, North America, we're winning. And the tides have changed, and I'm really excited to hear and see the good work that's happening.
So how's your trip been out here so far?
Yeah, it's been great. We've been really well received, and I think what Ruben George is saying is right and important. We have absolutely to make sure that we are not mobilizing against each other. And when we're looking at the situation in Canada, some people are going to want to turn us against each other, saying that, oh, if we don't want pipelines in the West, then we should just send them in the East, or the opposite. And we have absolutely to make sure that that does not happen, and we have to refuse to be turned against each other, and we have to remember that deep down we're fighting for the exact same cause, and that the reasons, the deep reasons why the Kinder Morgan and the Trans Mountain and the Northern Gateway pipeline was refused here are the same. That motivates us in the East to refuse the Energy East pipeline, and we are asking for the same thing. Not only for the no to these pipelines, but yes to a major transformation of our society and economy towards a model that is viable for us and for future generations. And if we stick to that common goal, I think we can accomplish great things in the next years. Yeah. And in the East, we're just starting to get those pipelines project. Here, unfortunately, you have the experience of having to fight more often against those adversaries. But in the East, Energy East is the first major pipeline project to be put on the table in our side of the country. So yeah, I think there's a double experience that has been that's being accumulated here, and one of the reasons of the trip was to try to hear about it, to hear about those experiences of struggle, and to see what we can take from it and take that word back east.
So, Ruben, what are your thoughts on the success of the Quebec student movement and how they're becoming much more focused on climate?
You know, listen to Van Jones speak, and I like what he had to say. When kids are smarter than they ever have been, and it's evident with my two children. You know, I remember then when they were just 6 years old, and you know, my daughter's 16 now, and we're talking with them. I said, no, it's like this, and she said, no, it's not. And she walked away from it and came back and she printed it out and said, here it is, Dad. So they have all this information at their fingertips. And he would say it needs to be a youth movement, and I believe in that. You know, I concede to anyone who's younger, in their 20s and early 20s and even their teens and want to speak, and I push that. So I'm really happy to see what's happening out there, and I hope the rest of the world and in particular this country sees that the youth have a voice and they're strong and they can move forward. Everywhere I've been around the world, it was the bigger rallies I've been to, 500,000 people in Brazil. You know, it was a youth movement. In Mexico, what happened? 1 million kids went out, and you know, and not long ago in the Middle East, 1 million kids went out, and so I really applaud that and encourage that and support that in any way I can.